Another thing where I lost respect for Prince was where I caught him and Lilo kissing at the back of a bus. Party, which I thought that was very disrespectful because she did it right in front of me.
Okay, at this point, I don't know how much more revelations I can take from this reunion anymore. Guys, the depth, the amount of revelations that have been coming up left, right, and center from this Big Brother Naija lockdown reunion, it is mind-blowing. Things they happen, oh. For real, if anybody had told me that Bbnaija and Prince were intimate in the house, the only thing that would come to my mind is what I actually witnessed on TV, on the show. And that was Bbnaija, making advances at Prince under the duvet, and Prince saying, oh, I want to sleep, and Bbnaija was constantly going at him. And it did not happen once. It did not happen just twice. It happened on different occasions. So, when did this intimacy happen? And when I heard intimacy, guys, I was just asking myself, are they saying that people actually smashed in the house? Did they actually knock in the house? What is actually going on? Kayode! Okay, let's just talk about Dorothy's emotions for a bit. So I still don't really get it. Predo. Dorothy is just platonic friends with Prince. And although she had said that she actually liked Prince in the house, and then they came out of the house and they were literally together like 24/7, doing things together, even traveled to Kenya together, and people were thinking that they were a couple or they were dating. And then she blocked Prince on all platforms, like via normal mobile calls, WhatsApp, on all social media platforms, even WhatsApp. No, not even WhatsApp, but I mean Snapchat as well. And then when Ebuka asked her, okay, so what was this conversation that you people had that warranted you to block him everywhere? What got you so upset? And she was like, well, it was just a few weeks of the reunion that Prince revealed to her that he was intimate with Tolanibaj in the house, whilst he had been giving the impression that Tolani was the one that was actually, pushing herself to him. So, guys, this is what I don't understand. It really pained Dorothy, and that was the same question Ibuka asked, like, why did it really pain you that much? And then for her, she felt like, oh, it's because the public is involved. There's this Predo group of fans that really wanted them to be together. So she felt like if there was going to be like any leading on of the fan base that, oh, there's a Predo ship actually going on, that Prince should have been honest with her. He should have been straightforward. He should have been playing with her. So she felt like she was the only honest person in the friendship that they had. But still, I still don't understand, like, how deep is this friendship they're even talking about anyways? Okay, like that one is not enough. We're now hearing that Lilo and Prince kissed. And then what we're hearing from Lilo is that, oh, she actually kissed Prince on the night of the last Saturday night party, whilst we still had the top 5 inside the house. So apparently Tolanibaj and Prince, they were already outside the house. They had already been evicted, and because of the whole fog surrounding the so-called relationship they had inside the house, they were still trying to figure out where they stood with each other outside the house. And this was like I think about 2 weeks. And so when they were all invited for the all-white party that last Saturday night, this was what now happened inside the bus. So according to Tolanibaj, that was when the kissing scene happened. That Lilo and Prince, they had sat at the back of the bus. She was right there in front of them, and by the time she would turn her back, she saw that they were actually making love, kissing intensely. So the way she said it, one would think that they were literally kissing and smooching for hours. But then when Lilo gave her own version of the story, she said that she was actually drunk and she was the one that kissed Prince. And Prince was saying, no, Lilo, don't do this. You are drunk. And when Ebuka asked for how long, Lilo said it didn't even last 5 seconds. Ebuka was like, what is wrong with you for 5 seconds? So now everything is becoming clear to me now, because there was a time when Lilo, what's his name, Prince, Tolanibaj, Dorothy, there was this crazy scandal about them. And one thing with me is, if I don't have my facts right, hey, I don't even bother myself, I don't stress myself. So I told myself, okay, Glory, chill and wait. The reunion is going to come. You will get the full details of this gist. And now we are getting the gist. And I'm wondering, like, okay, so if they kissed mistakenly, why was this such a big deal? I mean, why did it have to break off a friendship between Prince and Dorothy if Dorothy does not have feelings for Prince? Because here she is once again saying that, oh, she and Prince, they are just friends. She likes Prince. But from the way she overreacted, yes, by blocking him across all social media platforms, and then also all the drama, one would think that these two people, they are actually a couple, an item. But you wouldn't even realize that, for God's sakes, they are just friends. Then Dorothy and Tolanibaj, they had a small moment of little madness as Dorothy was like, well, if you want to talk to me, she was already standing. I'm like, Dorothy, where are you going? I don't understand. You want to be Tolanibaj? Are you a mommy? You know, and Tolanibaj, that one too, really. She don't already come on you for leg. She was holding her. She's like, come, I'm going to show you crazy. I'm like, Ebuka, you have left people to fight. Let them show their power since he's shacking them. Ebuka gives the floor over to Prince to try and vindicate himself, basically just clear his name. And the things that Prince said, it was so contradictory to everything Tolanibaj had been saying all night long. Now, from what Prince said, it was very obvious that the very night he was evicted, he came out of the house. Immediately, Tolanibaj saw him. Tolanibaj went to him and kissed him. And what he did not know was that somebody was actually recording that single act. And before he would pick up his phone and go onto social media, that particular video had already started circulating all over on social media, and people were saying that, oh, Tolanibaj and Prince, they are back together, they are still together. And he was like, he just came out of the house, he just saw Tolanibaj and she kissed him. So how does that equate to them still being together? Because by the time he had come out of the house, his team had revealed so many things that Tolanibaj had said about him in the diary session, so they had told him not to have anything to do with her. So his mind was in a very, very confused state. He needed time to make up his mind because, for real, according to Prince, he liked Tolanibaj still. And he just wanted to figure out if, regardless of all she had done and said about him, and also the move she was trying to make on you, if he was in the right frame of mind to still work things out with her. But then at the end of the day, he made up his mind and told her, they had a conversation a few days later, and he told her that, listen, we cannot be lovers, but let us just be friends. And he told her specifically that moving forward, no more pre-badge, anything. Whenever we go for interviews, no pre-badge. Make it clear that we are not dating. So he was doing that for all of his interviews, but Tolanibaj was not doing it. And as a matter of fact, according to Prince, when she would have her IG live, she would still be welcoming her pre-badge lovers. Guys, for real, I don't even understand what's going on. This is crazy. Like, at this point, I don't even know who is lying or who is saying the truth. But it is just so obvious that there are just so many mixed versions of this particular story. And it's not just adding up at all. While Prince was talking, Tolanibaj was saying, oh, liar, you are lying. And then there was the part where, T-Badge is upset that on Dorothy's birthday, Prince had sent flowers to Dorothy, whilst she did not get anything. But Prince is here saying that, oh, on her birthday, he had asked her, what do you want? Because he wasn't really good at buying gifts. And she said she needed 1 million naira. Bam. I'm like, okay. This is quite interesting. Now, in the midst of all this drama, between Prince, Tolanibaj, and Dorothy, the only question I have is, why did it hurt Dorothy so much that Prince, of all the things that he had shared with her so far as them being friends, why did that singular information that Prince had had sex with Tolanibaj and Lilo had kissed him, why did those two information, why did it drive Dorothy so crazy, so mad, that she had to take offense by blocking him across all social media platforms and then, deciding to end their friendship? Because I don't understand. If I am just platonic friends with a guy, I mean, a dude is a dude. He has every right to do whatever he wants to do. He can as well go and smash 1 million girls for all I care. I don't care. But then Dorothy is saying persistently that they're just friends. They're just friends. She doesn't have feelings for him, and then she's really upset about what happened. So it just goes to prove more that there's more to all these things, because this is the same thing with Dorothy right from inside the house. She has feelings for someone, and when she's asked about it, she keeps on claiming that no, they are just friends. She just likes the person. It's not serious. It's not that deep, blah, 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 blah. And it makes me question that, Dorothy, is it that you feel like you're not deserving to be loved? Is it that you feel you're not worthy to be called a lover? Is it that you just feel like you're not good enough? Because all this self-doubt, guys, I just feel like it's going to lead her nowhere at all. Talk about the Tolanibaj's issue. So apparently, she had been the one that's been all dramatic, and all of her drama actually started after she and Prince had been intimate, apparently outside the house. Slip of the tongue when I said that they were intimate, like actually had sex inside the house. No, it was actually outside the house. But inside the house, Tolanibaj had been really pushing for she and Prince to be intimate inside the house. And so outside the house, they finally did it. And after they did it, they had a conversation, and it was just a normal, regular conversation. By the end of the day, they are not an item, they are not a couple, they are not dating. And Prince had made his position clear that, hey, you go for an interview, people ask you, tell them we are not dating. But then, the way she has been acting, you know, she's just been acting like a woman scorned. I'm sorry to use that statement, but that is how Tolanibaj has been acting. And Lilo only went as well to confirm it, that Prince, look, just quash this issue, just forget about it. Tolanibaj is very emotional, and that is why she's overreacting. And guys, that answers all the questions, you know, because when you see Tolanibaj, especially, and Dorothy overreacting throughout the reunion, it just goes to show how emotional and sensitive they both are. And so to cover that part of their personalities, which they see as a weak trait, they try to use violence, they try to use curse words, they try to use aggressiveness to cover it, you know. Because Tolanibaj going ahead to say that, oh, Prince and Dorothy creating the Brighto ship, it was just both of them chasing clout, I just think it wasn't completely necessary. And then she also went ahead to say that, oh, Prince bought Instagram followers and just to get to 1 million, but then they discovered that he bought followers and he's still on 900. I'm like, how did you even get to find out all this information? If you claim you don't care about this guy, if you claim that, oh, the intimacy both of you had, it was not nice, it was not sweet, for a guy who is muscular, you were not impressed, how come you know all this information about him if you have not been doing your own background research about him? I'm like, girl, you get time for your hands, though, I swear. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about tonight's episode of the Brother Naija Lockdown Reunion Show. And don't forget, tomorrow is Saturday and we are having our YouTube live stream, guys, live and direct on this channel. We had one last week Saturday. We've always been having it every single Saturday, 3 p.m. WAT or 1500 West African time. Guys, go and check out last week's YouTube live stream. It was mad. So we're going to be having another one tomorrow, and as usual, I'm going to be bringing on some amazing, interesting individuals to come and defend their faith. And you just might be one of the amazing people too that I will bring in onto my panel on the live stream. So make sure you study closely my YouTube community tab. That is where the information will be dropping on much more things that you need to know. So that's it. Have an amazing TGIF. I will see you guys tomorrow on my channel. Don't go anywhere.